To read the mind of anyone, you need to master 3 crucial techniques. These methods enable you to effortlessly discern and grasp what anyone is pondering. Let me share with you a Buddhist tale that teaches how to read the minds of others. In a small village long ago, 2 brothers lived. The older brother was blind, spending most of his time at home, while the younger brother worked as a farmer. Their farm faced constant destruction by animals in the fields, troubling the younger brother. Eventually, he devised a solution. He thought, why not ask my blind brother for help to scare away the animals? He can sit in the field, and if he hears any animal sounds, he can shout, saving our crops. The younger brother built a small hut in the field, placing the elder brother inside. He explained the plan, and the elder brother agreed. Days passed with this practice. Once, a deer ran through a field, breaking the fence. Shortly after, a king pursuing the deer arrived. The king noticed the blind brother and asked if he had seen the deer. The blind brother replied, "Your Majesty, I am blind. How can I see a deer? However, I can tell you that the animal that left my field is not worth chasing. You are wasting your time." Astonished, the king questioned how the blind brother knew this. The blind brother asserted, "Your Majesty, the animal you believe to be a deer is actually a pregnant doe. I have never heard of a king hunting a pregnant doe, so I tell you she is not worth your pursuit. You should not waste your time chasing after her." The king, perplexed, sought verification. He instructed his commander to capture the animal alive. The commander returned, confirming the blind brother's accuracy. The doe was indeed pregnant. The king, filled with wonder, pondered how a blind person could identify the pregnancy. He marveled at the blind brother's confidence in providing such information despite his visual impairment. The king had many questions in his mind and decided to ask the blind man to get to the bottom of this. "Look, I may not know whether you are truly blind or not, but I have come to ask you one thing. Will you give me the correct answer to my question?" In response, the blind brother said, "Your Majesty, you can ask me anything you want, and I will answer you truthfully." The king said, "You are a wise man and seem to have a keen understanding of many things. Today I have called you to find out whether my wife is faithful to me or not." The blind brother responded, "Your Majesty, what kind of question is this? Your marriage has lasted for many years, and now you want to know such things. Why are these questions arising in your mind?" However, the king insisted, saying, "You must answer this question. If you do not provide me with an answer, I will punish you with the death penalty." Hearing the king's threat, the blind brother said, "Your Majesty, if you want the answer to this question, you will have to do me a favor." The king asked, "Tell me, what do I need to do?" The blind brother responded, "For that, you will have to leave your wife alone with me in a room." The king was initially angry upon hearing it, but he eventually agreed to the request and ordered his commander to leave the blind brother and the queen alone in a room. At that moment, the blind brother expressed his desire to touch the queen. Upon hearing this, the queen became furious and started beating the blind brother with her hands, feet, and all her might. Afterwards, the blind man somehow managed to escape and went to the king. Then the blind brother told the king, "Your Majesty, your wife is unfaithful." The king, enraged, drew his sword and went to the queen. The king asked a question, warning her that any falsehood would lead to her execution. He asked if she was faithful or not, to which the queen replied, "Your Majesty, you may as well kill me, but I am not faithful." The king is overjoyed because everything the blind brother has said is true. Upon hearing this, the king immediately went to the blind brother and asked, "How did you know that my wife is not faithful?" The blind man replied, "Your Majesty, it's quite simple. I told your wife that I wanted to touch her, and she became so enraged that she started beating me. When I told her that I wanted to touch her, she could have refused, but instead she began to beat me, and in the process, she touched my entire body. Now you tell me," he continued, "how can such a woman be faithful?" The king said, "You are quite wise. All right then, let's proceed." He added, "Answer one more question correctly, and I will let you go from here." The king then asked, "Tell me, am I truly my father's son or someone else's?" To this, the blind brother responded, "Your Majesty, why do you bother with this question? No matter who your parents are, you are the king of this state, so let this question go." But the king insisted. No, no. I want the exact answer to this question. Otherwise, this question will always bother me, so I want to know the truth. The blind brother responded, Your Majesty, I can tell you right now whose child you are. But before that, I want you to promise that you won't get angry with me. The king said, I promise I won't get angry with you. Then the blind brother said to the king, You are indeed your father's son, but you are also under the shadow of a miserly merchant. Upon hearing this, the king rushed to his mother and asked her, Mother, please tell me the truth. Am I truly my father's son or someone else's? If you don't tell me the truth, I will give up my life right here. To this, the king's mother said, Son, you are indeed your father's child, but you are also under the shadow of a miserly merchant. Upon hearing this, the king is delighted and immediately returns to the blind brother. He asked, How did you know that the shadow of a miserly merchant was on me? The blind man replied, Your Majesty, you asked me many questions, and I gave you the correct answers to all of them. If you were any other king, I would have received many rewards by now, but you haven't given me a single penny so far. It was from this that I estimated that you are very stingy. The king burst into laughter and said, Whatever you ask for, I will give it to you. But tell me, how do you know what is right and what is wrong? How can you provide such accurate and precise answers to this? The blind brother said, Your Majesty, I am blind by nature. If I had eyes, I could easily understand anyone's thoughts. The mind has its language, and this language can be seen in the actions of a person's body. By observing a person's eyes, lips, the way they work, and their activities, one can understand what is going on in their mind. Based on this, we can know the thoughts of anyone. But I am blind, so I perceive through actions. If I want to know something, I have to assign a task to the next person to see how that person works and how he does the task, and based on that, I can understand what is going on in his mind. The king asked, So does that mean I can also know someone's thoughts? To this, the blind brother said, Certainly, you too can understand anyone's thoughts. But before that, you need to work on yourself, and that work is to calm your mind and bring your mind into the present. For that, today I'm going to tell you 3 ways, and these 3 ways are very easy and simple. But Your Majesty, before that, you have to do one thing: focus your mind. When we focus our mind and merge our mind into the present, we can understand the thoughts of others, because that person is thinking in the present. And we also have to bring our minds into the present. Only then can we understand their thoughts. If we are thinking about past events, how will we know what the next person is thinking in the present? Because we are immersed in past events. To know anyone's thoughts, first and foremost, we need to focus our minds and bring them into the present. After that, the blind brother told the king, Your prayer, yes, Your Majesty. I will tell you the 3 ways by which you can easily understand anyone's thoughts. Then the blind man said to the king, O king, the first method is to pay attention to the eyes. The most important thing when we talk to someone is to look them in the eyes, because eyes don't speak, but they say a lot. If we learn to understand the signals in a person's eyes, we can know what is going on in their mind, what they are thinking, and what they are about to do. I don't have eyes myself, but I learned this skill from the revered Gautama Buddha many years ago. He was my teacher and guide. I used to have eyes back then, and I could understand people's thoughts solely through their eyes. So, if you also want to know the thoughts of others, you should focus on their eyes, such as their gaze, where they are looking, and in what direction. If their eyes are wandering here and there when you're talking to them, it means they are searching for a way to escape from the conversation. And someone might be lying if the person is avoiding direct eye contact. It means they're afraid that their lie might be exposed, and people will learn the truth. But if their eyes look at you without moving, they are probably honest and interested. They want to talk to you and share their thoughts. Also, see how their eyebrows move. If their eyebrows go down while they look away, they might be thinking hard or worried about something else. If their eyebrows go up and their eyes get big, they might be surprised or curious about what you say. Also, see how big or small their pupils are. The pupils are the black part of the eye. If the pupils get bigger, it means they like you or what you say. They are excited or happy. If the pupils get smaller, it means they don't like you or what you say. They are uncomfortable or angry. Also, see how red or white their eyes are. The white part of the eye is called the sclera. If the sclera is red, it means they are tired, stressed, or sick. They might not want to talk to you. I remember a time when I met a tired person who was traveling. When we talked, his eyes looked around a lot, never looking at me. This showed that he was worried and wanted to go away fast. I thought he might be hiding something. He did not want to talk to me. Then I asked him more questions. I found out he had a secret plan. Similarly, other facial expressions can help us easily understand a person's thoughts. Sometimes a person exhibits different behaviors through their face. If you pay attention to a person's facial expressions, you can easily understand if the person is disappointed, very sad, or extremely happy. You can also figure out what they are feeling inside, and all these things can be determined through their facial expressions. Your Majesty, the face is like a picture that shows what people are feeling inside, even if they don't say anything. If you want to understand people better, you have to pay attention to these silent signs. When you see someone whose mouth turns down at the sides, making a small sad face, it usually means they are unhappy, not pleased, or have lost something. You can also tell by their eyes and their body if they are feeling low. On the other hand, a big and real smile, one that makes the eyes and the cheeks go up, is a sign of happiness, friendliness, and kindness. The eyes are very important in this. When they get small and shiny, you can be sure that the smile is real. Look at the space between a person's eyebrows where the skin wrinkles. When it gets deeper and tighter, it often means they are confused, thinking hard, or trying to understand something difficult or new. The way the mouth is can tell you a lot. A mouth that is closed and squeezed may mean they don't agree, don't like something, or don't want to talk. But a mouth that is open and relaxed means they are open, comfortable, and ready to talk. As you get better at seeing and understanding these signs on the face, you'll be able to know what people are thinking and feeling inside, whether they say their feelings out loud or keep quiet. Their faces will show you what's in their heart, whether a person speaks with their words or not. You can understand everything from their face. Your Majesty, I will tell you a story. One time, I met a sad person who came to me for help, but they acted like they didn't care. But I saw a small line on their forehead. It showed they had a problem. I asked them to tell me their problem, and they did. They felt better after that, and I helped them. A real smile makes the eyes happy too. It means they are glad and kind. A frown makes the eyebrows go down. It means they are worried or confused. The eyebrows go up when they are surprised or curious. You can tell how they feel by looking at their face. Continuing, the blind brother told the king about the third method, saying, "Your Majesty, there is a third language too, which is the language of gestures and body language. To understand a person's thoughts, we need to understand hand gestures and body language. When a person speaks, you may have noticed that they keep moving their hands and making gestures. In addition to words, their body language plays a significant role in conveying what a person is thinking. Your Majesty, the body and the hands can say a lot of things without words. It is like a secret way of talking, where you can see what people want and feel by the small things they do. Think about when someone taps their fingers fast while they are talking to you. When fingers make a quick sound on something, it may mean they are bored, in a hurry, or want to end the talk soon. I remember a time when I met a person who wanted to sell me something, and he did this sign. I knew he was nervous, so I made him give me a better price, and he was surprised. Also, when someone crosses their arms, they might not like you or what you say. They are hiding their thoughts from you. This way of holding their arms is like a wall, keeping their thoughts and feelings safe from others. By seeing this sign, you can be nice and careful when you talk to them and make them feel more comfortable and open. When someone leans forward, they might be interested in you or what you say. They are listening to you carefully. This means they are interested and want to hear more. This way of moving their body shows they want to listen, learn, and understand what you are saying. I once met a smart teacher who did this. He was very calm, but he leaned in with interest, showing he wanted to know more about the topic. Sometimes people who touch their faces a lot when they talk to you can help you know what they are thinking. It often means they are worried, thinking hard, or having a big idea. These small touches show you what is going on in their mind and heart. to be good at understanding others by their body and hands. You have to be patient, watch carefully, and appreciate the things they don't say. These small but important signs, like a quiet book, show you the feelings and thoughts that are hidden inside them and let you connect with them better. If we pay attention to these 3 methods and understand them correctly, we can quickly know what's going on in a person's mind, how much attention they are giving to our words, and what's happening in their mind. However, before that, you have to focus your mind and bring it into the present. Only then can you pay attention to all these actions, understand them, and realize what's going on in the person's mind. Otherwise, if you are preoccupied with past events or plans, you will never pay attention to the person's body language, and you will never understand what's happening in their mind, what they are thinking. You may have seen many great saints and enlightened beings who look at you with great calm and can tell you what's going on in your mind and what you have come to learn from them. The biggest reason for this is that they can read you and understand you, because their mind is focused and peaceful, and that's why they can easily understand your thoughts. As we come to the end of this Zen journey, if you like this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also press notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.